Hey, this is Nick again with the Accessible Content Creation Series. Previously, I talked about accessibility as it relates to headings. If you haven't been through that part of the Accessible Content Series, it's a good idea to learn about semantic headings before getting into the rest of the content structure. The important thing to understand is that good content structure is easy for all users to consume. This means long blocks of text should be avoided when possible. Instead, use shorter paragraphs, headings, lists, block quotes, and other elements to break up the text. These are all very easy to use in WordPress. Let's look at this section in the block editor. Paragraphs. Paragraphs are the starting point for content in the block editor. When you add a block without selecting which block to use, it defaults to a paragraph. These are great for putting together sentences. The issue is long paragraphs can be difficult to read. Low vision users, as well as users with certain reading disabilities and even ADD, ADHD, can be lost in a long paragraph. Let's break up the long introduction paragraph. I just clicked before. This means long to set my cursor position. Now I press Enter key to create a new paragraph at that point. The two new paragraphs are shorter and easier to read. Lists. We've already discussed how to use headings, but another tip for breaking up content is use lists. Lists can be ordered and unordered. An ordered list starts with numbers, letters, or Roman numerals. These are generally used for information where the order matters. A good example would be recipe instructions. Unordered lists with a bullet, circle, dash, or other generic icon. These are great when the order isn't as important. I can convert the introduction paragraph to use a list instead of a long text string. Watch as I click on the paragraph and put the cursor right after instead use. I'm going to put a colon there because that'll be the start of a list. Then I press Enter. Now I'm going to put the cursor right before the text. These are all very easy to use, and press Enter to create a new paragraph. Next, go back to the paragraph that starts with shorter paragraphs and use the Change Block control to switch to this list. I'll capitalize the first word of each element and remove punctuation. Then press Enter at the start of each item to presto, listo, there's a list. Block quotes. Now, I'll be adding a block quote. Sometimes these are referred to as pull quotes or long quotes. They are used in magazines to quote text that is elsewhere in the article and can be used with or without citation. Let's insert one right after this paragraph. Remember to use block quote blocks for actual block quotes. It's okay to use a pull quote to draw attention to some text, but do not just use them for design changes. They have meaning. Specifically, the markup is used when you make a block quote indicates that this is a kind of quote. So there should be quoted content. A pull quote pulls content from somewhere else in the document and quotes it. A long quote is text that is a direct quote or paraphrase from a source that is cited. If the goal is just to mark up some text, use the text controls to set color, background, font size, and weight. This covers the most common content items you will use. While there are many other blocks, most blocks use some combination of these controls. Do not have accessible content structure meaning or will be covered in a later tutorial for specific details, like when I talk about alternative text and media. One important content control that has been misused and abused is the table element. I'll be covering that next time.